And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Port Connects Alumni Podcast. I am Andrew Murata here for Port Jervis Schools, and excited and really proud to have Matteo Villanueva on the program today. Matteo, good afternoon to you and welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me, Andrew. This is great. I'm really glad that you're doing this.
Yeah, it's so much fun, Matteo, connecting with so many alumni, doing incredible things, and you are one of them there. Matteo, before we get started, today is February 6th. It is School Counselor Week. So I do want to give a shout out to not only our school counselors here in Port Jervis, but school counselors everywhere. It is School Counselor Week here in Port Jervis at the high school. Miss Oldham, Miss Lori Kamar, Julie Balo, Kathy Lane, Chris Stellato. At the middle school, Mr. Caporal, Miss Hargett, been there for a long time. And then our elementary schools, Dawn Jones at ASK and Jen Scannell at HBE. Matteo, do you remember your counselors? Did you have any of those as your counselors?
I think a couple, yeah, I've had a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Guidance Counselor Week, so I did want to give them a shout out. But our guest today is Matteo Villanueva, class of 2018. Matteo, how are you? How are things for you?
Things are going okay. Things are going good. We New Year's Eve we wrapped up our second run of Sesame Street the musical, so I've just been kind of taking it easy for these past couple months of the year. I've had a bit of vertigo for the past couple of weeks.
Oh wow!
But it's getting better now. I just I was gonna wear these blue lights just in case, but I kept getting reflective. When I would turn my head, it would be reflective on the screen. So
okay. And what Matteo is referring to, not the vertigo, but he was a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Puppetry major at UConn, University of Connecticut, and worked on it was off-Broadway, Matteo, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Worked on the off-Broadway show, Sesame Street, right in New York City. And Matteo, again, a puppetry major. Matteo, when in high school or even younger, middle school, when did you really start to say, I like this, I like that design, this is something I want to do? When did that hit you?
I don't exactly remember how it happened. I just remember just being, I think it probably like 2 or 3. I was just watching Sesame Street a lot, and then I kind of went into other Jim Henson's works. Like when the Muppet Show came out on DVD, I had to get that and watch that. And I've watched all the movies a lot, and I had a few puppets of my own that my mom had. Like I had an old Bert puppet that she had, and I was just playing around with that, and just that was kind of my first introduction to like kind of practicing like the film style that Jim Henson perfected when he got started.
Yeah, for sure. If you're watching the show live, please jump in, say hello, introduce yourself. If you're an alum, say hello. If you're one of Matteo's classmates, say hello, or teachers or current Port Jervis students or staff. So Matteo, that was young when you were a kid. I mean, you know, growing up watching Sesame Street, so you knew back then that was something that you really loved.
Yeah.
And when in high school did you kind of say like, this is something I could do for a living? Like taking that passion that you loved and then going into the field is really one of our goals, is to match kids up with something they want to do. When did that happen for you?
In high school, I noticed that there was a school called University of Connecticut, and that actually some of the Muppet performers actually went before they went on to shows like Sesame Street and all that. And I was wondering if certain goals would be met for me when I went, and also just trying to see like because I never knew what college was like before going, and I was curious to see. I just wanted to try it out first to see how much I would like it, even if there were things I disliked that would kind of dominate the things I did like, then maybe I would try something else. But I kept pursuing college, even though there were a lot of things that were tough about it, and I still had people like family and friends, you know, being supportive of me and what I wanted to do, and that's pretty much pretty much how that happened.
Yeah. Matteo, who were some people in Port Jervis schools, whatever level, elementary, middle, high, that really supported you, really helped you, someone that you connected with?
There's been a lot of people actually, and you being one of them have been really supportive in my journey in school especially. And
Yeah.
it's hard to just pick one really. There's been so many that are still supportive of me whenever I post about new things happening or things like that.
Yeah.
I always see them in the comments, really excited about the next thing.
Yeah, and that's, I saw it on Facebook there. It was like, wow, here's a kid went to college for something he loves, he learned about it, and now is doing it, on the big stage. I call it the big stage. People call it off Broadway. I mean, still, that is a major thing. And I have your transcript here, Matteo. And we talked off air a little bit. These transcripts are like a roadmap, and you could see that you love the arts. Every music course, every art course, anything having to do with the arts, you were 99 or higher. You excelled in the arts. So it's definitely something that you could see there. That you loved. You were in the shows as well. Tell me about some of your fond memories about performing in our musicals. And you were class of 18, so 15, 16, 17, 18 at the high school. Tell me some of the memories of the shows.
They were a lot of fun. Getting to especially when the first show I did in high school, it was Guys and Dolls. I think that was I think that was 2017, and that was a lot of fun doing getting to do more me myself person acting, and I'm definitely much more used to puppeteering from my elbow up, but performing with my whole body, and also kind of really getting into a character, even though I was one in that show that didn't have really any lines or anything or a major prominence. It was still fun being able to actually getting to see what I've seen a lot of other actors do, whether it be schools or theaters.
Yeah. And did that feed your maybe that excitement about performance and stage work? And did that experience help on your journey?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helped me kind of get over any other stage fright I might have before that.
Yeah.
I think I still kind of experience sometimes, but I just think back to like it's not. Even if stuff happens, they happen. It's live theater. It's going to happen one moment or another. They've definitely happened during the Sesame Street the musical. Definitely.
Yeah. And your senior year, you had two huge shows, Little Shop of Horrors and Grease, and you were the what do you call it? The plant in Little
Yeah.
Shop of Horrors. And that's incredible. I mean, the thing was so big. It was so lifelike. What was that experience like for you?
It was crazy, especially how they originally wanted me to perform it, but I told them I cannot do all of that. So there was like a nice little seat in there that I could just kind of lift my upper body, and that would make the top half of the plant move, and it looked okay enough when I'd see videos of it, but it was still fun once I got the hang of doing all that.
Those were great shows, and man, that thing again, it was I wouldn't call it a puppet, but wow, just the acting there was awesome. Matteo, what were some things at school maybe that were a struggle for you while you were here? What were some challenges you had as a high schooler?
Can't really remember now. There was always some of the work that would get challenging, and getting help for one thing or another would be kind of confusing to others, because I couldn't exactly really. It's always been hard for me to kind of express like what my issues are with something,
Yeah.
and I think that would pretty much be the only thing.
Yeah, well, and hey, that's good. If you don't remember the things that weren't so great, that's okay too. If you are watching the show live, again, jump in, say hello, let us know where you were watching from, and um, if you're an alum yourself. Matteo, let's talk about this opportunity with Sesame Street. I mean, what an incredible thing! Did that happen right out of UConn? Did you graduate and go right into that? How did that? Tell us about the process of getting such an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, it kind of happened kind of right after I graduated. It was early May I graduated, and then the next month in June I see the show is announced to be happening, and I was like, oh, that's great. I'm wondering how that's gonna be, and I hope we can get tickets to go see it. And then I at the time I was looking to see like what puppetry work I could do after UConn. Now that I have kind of like this little resume building, and I asked one of my friends, Dove Manley, who runs Up in Arms Puppets, and I saw him in them perform before, and then me and him kind of gained a connection between us, and I asked him if there were any other if at the time if there is any need for any extra puppeteers, and he said no, we're good for right now, but thanks for asking, we'll let you know. But did you know that the Sesame Street the musical, like they're hiring performers? And I was like, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me.
Wow.
Before it was before the listing expired for people to join.
Yeah. And Matteo, obviously you got in, you were with them for a while. I see how much they practice here for our shows. I mean, weeks and weeks and hours, like long hours practicing. What was the preparation like for Sesame Street?
Um, there was a lot of weeks just kind of just practicing in at the at Theater Row where we originally performed. There was another section where with these like big long mirrors, and we could just where we would practice and all that. And in the beginning, one of the Muppet performers, Tyler Bunch, was helping us a lot. He mostly performs Elmo's dad, Louis, on the show, and he was helping us with since we were going to be helping out a lot these incredibly established characters. Like he is one of the ones that would know the best of like how these characters, like how they walk, how they would how they emote, with when. And yeah, he was such a big help for that. And at first I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, because actually seeing those characters for the first time, and I was just kind of nervous. But then once we were all kind of going in our circle, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and I was like, okay, I think this doesn't seem like really too hard.
Yeah. And Matteo, we talked a little off air about the logistics, but for our audience here, we're sitting in the seats watching the puppets and the sound and all of that. But where are you? Describe to our viewers here, where are you when you are, acting or performing? Tell us a little bit about what those logistics and what that felt like and was like for you.
It was a little bit there were certain points where it's easy and then other points where it's hard. But there's a saying that in puppetry, if you're comfortable, you're probably doing it wrong. So, there were ways where I could be comfortable enough when doing any of the many scenes that we had in the show. Sometimes there would be points where we were just like standing, but you still couldn't see us at all, or just yeah, just things like that. Most of the time we are sitting on little rolly stools, and making sure our heads are out of the way and things like that.
And Matteo, is there a screen below you that you could like actually see it, or are you just totally doing it from memory? How do you know what it looks like when you're not looking at it?
Oh, for the most part, we kind of do what is not recommended in doing this type of puppetry for film, but we are kind of just like looking up for the most part at what we're doing, and we had no screens or monitors at all. We were just kind of.
But you could see up. It's not like there's a hole. You could see up.
Oh yeah, we could see up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. That's incredible. So did anything, ever like happen where something you just had to, like the show must go on? Did you ever have an experience where you did fall or something happened?
No, no, I don't think any of us really have ever fallen during the show, but there were definitely moments where there's so much of us on stage at once where it almost happens, but we end up like kind of bracing ourselves, but still making sure the performance looks good and nobody that gets to see that, which is good.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, it's such a niche. It's such a specific business. It's such a specific type of performance. Like if you compare it to teaching, right? Like there are a lot of social studies teachers. There's a lot of physical education teachers. But if you need a physics teacher or a chemistry teacher, like, wow, is it an extremely competitive business, or are people knocking down your door now to get into the puppetry kind of world there? Is it such a specific niche that there's a great need, or where is the need there?
I guess it kind of depends on what people have ideas, like if they want to really experiment with something. Like I know I think for years Jonathan Rockefeller, who directed the musical and produced it and wrote it and all, I think he wanted to really do something with this for years, and he and Sesame Workshop had been talking about what they could do with it and how they could really I think it really depends on what people's ideas are really, and at least in my experience with what I've noticed. And I wouldn't really say, and also not really much of competitiveness between different people. Well, I mean, there can, but I just haven't really noticed any of that.
Yeah. And what are your ideas? Like, what are your goals? Where are you looking to go with all of this?
I'm kind of I'm wishing that just to bring my group of characters just into the world a little bit more, whether it be just stuff online, because I have done stuff online before, but I never really knew what the future of that was gonna be. So I've kind of been thinking of like what other ways I could bring my characters out into the world more in a not really much of a kind of a just kind of out there way, because I did do live streams with them before, but just kind of trying to think of what to say next and how to really, because didn't really have much of a format to go with what I was doing. I was kind of just doing it on the fly. What if I was just bored one day, I would just have a new episode of something out. But I think kind of making more kind of short term, like kind of like your basic YouTube video stuff, like thinking of doing things like that, maybe some narrative stuff, or just some like kind of like quick sketch type things, like even maybe like doing TikToks and stuff like that, because I have a lot of friends who've done that a lot, and I haven't really done it yet. And
Yeah.
I was interested in kind of making videos kind of like that for a bit and see where that takes me. But knowing that's not going to really kind of skyrocket immediately, but also just trying to look for new work whenever I can and whatever is out there.
Are those videos and things like that you do, Matteo, do you consider those like job tryouts, like kind of like almost like your resume unfolding in front of other people? Is that what how you think about it?
I think some could be. I think if I end up putting a reel together of what the performance stuff I've done over the years, maybe I could include some of that.
Yeah. Do you have any characters you want to share here? Do you have anything you want to show us here that you've created?
Yeah, I have one here. I actually made this guy. It was my junior year at UConn, and it was when I took the TV puppetry class, and me and my advisor Bart Rockburton, who runs the puppet arts program, me and him had an inside joke of like, now I know you're going to be doing TV puppetry, and I know how much you're dreading that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but I'll still do it. And one of the first things we had to do was just make a sock puppet for mostly like for practicing, and this is when we were quarantining a lot, and it was hard for us to really perform over on a screen, but we managed to do what we could do. But these we had to make these sock puppets, and Martin P. Robinson, who was another Muppet performer, he's taken over a lot of characters on Sesame Street, like Mr. Snuffleupagus and Slimy the Worm, Oscar's pet worm, and he made this video for us on how to make these kind of semi-professional sock puppets, and this is what I came up with.
Oh my God! Wow! Wow! So who is that young man or woman? Who is that?
I am Pyro. I'm the living flame, as you can see by my nice little details there.
Wow! And what's Pyro's kind of story? Tell me about Pyro.
I don't know. I'm just a fun-loving flame. I go here, I go there, just trying to have a good time. Having as much fun as I can.
Wow, I see you have different eyes there, Pyro. Is that Port Jervis colors, black and red, or are you on fire? What's happening there?
I never thought of that. That's a really, yeah, that's a good, yeah, I never noticed that before. Yeah, I do kind of have,
Wow.
yeah.
Are you happy to be created by Mr. Villanueva? Tell me what that felt like to be created.
Oh, it's great. It's great. He has a. It's weird that his lips are moving right now as I'm talking. But anyway, but yeah, it's great to have him kind of like as a dad, sort of who kind of brought me into the world and
Yeah,
wants me to make more friends out there.
sure. Well, we'd like to maybe introduce you to some people. Maybe would you be happy maybe to talk to some classes, meet some of our younger students in Port Jervis?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. When are you going to make it to the big stage, Pyro?
Uh, that's a good question. I'm not sure quite yet, but hopefully in the future something big will come.
Okay. Tell me about your design there on your body there. Is that a shirt or is that those are your flames?
Oh, these are my flames. Yeah, I actually
Wow.
got these. I found these socks at a local CVS, and I had to use these for this guy. I wasn't sure what I didn't even have a design in mind. I just kind of went with whatever I had.
Yeah. I mean, when you were holding it off to the side, I'm thinking sock puppet white with stripes
Mhm.
with two black circles on the thing. But that is incredible, Matteo.
Thanks.
Wow. So at UConn, like, did you get a good grade on that assignment? Was that considered good?
Oh yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks incredible, and I love how you came alive once you started having them talk. That was your whole sound and body change. That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, maybe
The
we
Pyro's
can
a fun
introduce
one.
him. Maybe we can introduce him to some Port Jervis classes. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Cool. Matteo, was there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't bring up here on the podcast?
Um. Now that I'm thinking about it, no, I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah. Matteo, what would you say to maybe a fifth grader, sixth grader, eighth grader, ninth grader who kind of has that itch that they want to go do this, and they're a little unsure, they're a little nervous. What would you say to that kid that really likes that thing? What would you tell them about turning it into a profession?
I'd pretty much say just don't give up with whatever passions you have. Just really just strive for it. Whenever any little free time you have, just kind of trying to see like kind of where that ends up, and if it doesn't end up going really anywhere at first, then you'll try. Don't just try other things, and maybe those passions you had before will kind of fall back into your lap in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it certainly sounds like you chose the right path and found UConn, you found the program, and then you found Sesame Street, and what a great first job there for you, on that. So, did you commute to Manhattan every day?
Oh yeah, every single day we we
Wow.
went there. Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been a lot, a grind. The shows were 7 days a week.
Mostly, yeah. I mean, we had 2 days off usually.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, Matteo, this was a lot of fun. I'm really proud of you. Again, class of 2018, chasing his dreams here. He loves puppetry from a little kid, and here he is doing it. So we wish you the best, Matteo. And again, we're watching. We're happy that you're putting Port Jervis on the map and representing Port Jervis, off-Broadway show. I mean, that's incredible for you. So we wish you the best. If we could help you, we'd love to be able to do that. And we'd also love to follow your career. And again, I'd love to have you either, whether it's in person or you want to do it online, let's meet some of your characters. There's a lot of young kids here that you might be able to inspire with some of your characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that sounds so fun. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's one more question I think you wanted to ask before
there
we.
certainly is. Yeah, I'm glad you remembered. It's what we're all about. It's on my shirt here as well. What does Port Pride mean to you, Matteo Villanueva?
Port pride means to me just having pride of where you live, and I mean I'd say it extends to not just Port, but just to anywhere where you came from, and kind of and helping within the community of where you came from, and even other places, even just, doing this. And I love that, again, that you're doing this with alumni of the school and stuff. And I also love seeing how it's with the schools and everything. I love seeing like what has been being done with it now, and how certain parts are expanding and things like that. And we pass there a lot, and just to see like what things are going to be happening. And I'm really excited to know more about that once they come up.
Yeah, awesome. There's a lot of new. We're about to embark on the biggest construction year in our history, with all the things that are happening. You lived in that old middle school, and that's getting turned around. I don't know if you saw the most recent updated video that's out, and we talk about a pool, Matteo, and all new fields.
Oh, really?
So we're excited with all of these things happening, and we're also excited about our alum. So, Matteo, I shared off air, we are looking to build an alumni association. We are going to be doing some outreach where alumni can be connected, and we can connect our alumni doing incredible things like you to our students, to be able to bridge those connections. So we'd love for our kids to meet some of your puppets and see some of the work you're doing. So I applaud you, Matteo. I'm proud of you, and keep up the great work.
Thanks you as well.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to sign off here on the podcast. Again, this is Matteo Villanueva, UConn University, graduate of Port Jervis 2018. Went into puppetry. Just wrapped up a long session with Sesame Street, and we'll see what his future holds here. But certainly exciting, and we'll be watching, Matteo.
Thank you.
All right, stay on the line a second, Matteo. We'll say goodbye, and we're going to sign off here on the show. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, alumni, and you want to stay connected, get me your email. Again, we're going to be doing some signups here coming in this year to start this alumni association. But we are going to sign off right now for Port Connects. This was Matteo Villanueva, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.